Hi. Today I'm doing a Top 5 Wednesday video all about summer recommendations. It's not Wednesday today, it's also not summer where I live, which is why this is happening right now. This is so snuggly. Yeah, it's not summer in Australia right now, it's winter, it's super cold, but if you are in a summer place and you want some summer recommendations, or if you're in a winter place like me and you want some books to warm you up, then here are some of my recommendations. The first book is The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. This is about 5 sisters who commit suicide, and it's told from the perspective of boys who live in the neighborhood of the girls, and they are recounting when the girls were alive and like what led up to their suicides. And so we see it from these boys' perspectives, and they are obsessed with the girls, and because we are sort of like brought along as one of the boys, we sort of also become obsessed with them a little bit. They're very peculiar, they have a very different family, and the boys just are obsessed with them and are trying to find out like little details where they can, and so we find out little details where we can. So I really like the narrative and how the story is told. The characters themselves are really interesting and really intriguing. The writing style is great. It's very atmospheric and very sort of depressing when you're reading it. I mean, it does have suicide in it. It's set somewhere in America, and it's really hot, and it's summertime, and it's like sweating. I feel like when I looked at my bookshelves for this video, I was like, okay, when do people sweat? When do I remember characters sweating? Next, we have Stolen by Lucy Christopher, which is an Australian author, so yay. This is about a girl named Gemma who is kidnapped from an airport, and it's her letter to her captor. She's taken to Western Australia, I think, so into the desert, and she is kept there. The setting was probably my favorite thing about this book. It was so incredibly well described. I felt so engrossed in the setting. I was there. I kind of missed it when I was gone, even though it was so hot and so sweaty, and so sort of the heat was just, I felt it and I missed it, and it was beautiful as well. And yeah, it was just really, really well described. Really like the setting. The kidnapping aspect of the story was interesting. And it was interesting that it was a letter to her captor. The book was written that way, but it wasn't as like gritty as I wanted it to be, and it was a little bit unrealistic, I think. But I did really enjoy it, and yeah, I really enjoyed this book as well, so definitely check it out. Next, we have a book that is not lacking in the grittiness, and that is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This is the first book from her that I read, and this is when I fell in love with her as an author. This is about a reporter named Camille who has to go back to her hometown to report on the murder of 2 preteen girls. And she had a really bad childhood, so it's really difficult for her to go back and be in that place again, and not be affected by it a lot. And we sort of see her losing control as a character as she's going through the book and as she's in her hometown. And she also finds that she identifies with the girls who were murdered a little bit, and yeah, we just see her coming loose and trying to not come loose, and you sort of feel that out of controlness. The town that she goes back to is incredibly creepy and disturbing. It's wonderful. I really like the town. It's also really hot and set somewhere in like America where it's really hot, like in the South probably. Girl with a Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier. This is historical fiction, and I think it's set in the summertime. I think it's set like in different times throughout the year. But there definitely was a part where like Griet, the main character, was like sweating doing chores. So it's about a girl named Griet who becomes a maid in this house, and in the house is a famous painter named Vermeer, who's the historical aspect of the book, and it sort of provides like a backstory to Griet and to his family and working in his family and what he's like and how he painted this painting, which is like an actual historical, like it's a painting. And I found it so interesting to have that sort of backstory to a painting, how it happened. It was really interesting. Really easy to read, really enjoyable. I really like the writing style. If you want to read historical fiction, definitely recommend this as like a starting book. The last book is The Raven Boys by Maggie C. Vetter. This is set in West Virginia, and it's hot at the start of the book. It's about 4 boys and a girl named Blue and their friendship and getting to know them as characters. They're all super mysterious and really, really interesting. The character development is great in the series. And they're all sort of on this quest, on this journey that's also mysterious. And it's magical, but that magic is very well grounded and really believable. Even though everything is mysterious and magical and like supernatural-ish, it still feels so real and is so well done in the series, so definitely check this out as well. If you have any summer reads that you want to recommend, do so in the comment section below, and I'm gonna just like get in this blanket. I will see you next time. Bye.